What's going on, everybody? I'm on the road doing a little tour. I'm currently in Prague for BTC Prague, but we're still pumping out videos for you. It's going to be a shorty but a goodie. We've got a Simply session. We're going to chat all the news, Coinbase being sued, Binance being sued, all kinds of craziness going on, and we're going to sum it up for you nice and quick. We've got a Simply session on the road today, but I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session.
HODL the Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, we're going to run through the sponsors really quick and jump right into the news. Again, shout out to HodlHodl, your peer-to-peer spot for stacking non-KYC sats. Really simple to use. Just sign in with nothing more than an email address, scroll down, choose your currency, your payment method, and your amount, and start stacking KYC sats peer-to-peer in seconds. Of course, shout out to CoinKite, best place to secure your Bitcoin, your hardware. Cold Card is a beast, Tap Signer, Sats Card, all the great stuff. Check them out, coinkite.com, code BTC Sessions for 5% off. Nunchuk, killing it in the multisig game. Super easy to set up on your mobile device. Works with Tap Signer and Cold Card, all that great stuff. Baked in inheritance planning and no KYC sets them apart. Check out nunchuk.io. And finally, Start9 Labs, your sovereign computing solution. You can set up your Bitcoin stack, Lightning, mempool.space. You can do Nostr Relay, Nostr clients, and all your data, passwords, files, photos, all of it, and run it from the comfort of your own home, not your data, not your server, not your data, rather. So check them out, start9.com. And with that, let's dive into the news, everyone. So as I said, I'm on the road. I'm here at BTC Prague. It is nighttime. I am jet lagged as hell, so my schedule's all off, and it was very difficult to coordinate timing. So basically, we're going to have Nico take a 5-minute segment and give you the latest and greatest in the news, and then I'm going to fill you in on all the tech updates, software updates, all of that, and we'll wrap it up nice and quick. So without further ado, here's my brother from another mother, the second half of the two greatest streaks in Bitcoin. Here's Nico to give you the news.
Yo, welcome to Simply Sessions. It's a special edition while Ben is traveling Europe, orange pilling another content. We're going to hold it down. We're going to hold down the news. We're going to try to get through all of this week's news, and a lot of stuff happened as quickly as possible. So the big news, starting with the one, the only, we've talked about Tucker Carlson before, and the reason Tucker Carlson is such a big deal is because he was one of the most popular broadcasters from the mainstream media that regularly brought on Bitcoiners. So he brought on Marty Bent, he brought on Max Kaiser, he's brought on Michael Saylor. He was one of the only people in the legacy corporate media that was going against the official narrative, and I believe that was part of the reasons that he was let go from Fox. Well, Tucker Carlson is back, and his first video on Twitter got 86.9 million views, 86.9 million. That dwarfs what he was at, what he was getting when he was at Fox. And at Fox, there was only so many things he could say. This is Tucker Unleashed. But the reason this is such big news is, guys, you are the media now. The internet has empowered the individual. You could buy a microphone, you could buy a camera, you can create a Twitter account, you can create a YouTube account, you can create a Nostr account. It's empowered an individual to the point where RFK Jr., who is the second who's second in the Democratic primary, went on a podcast to say podcasts will determine the 2024 election, right? So it's no longer the era of the legacy media. It is the era of independent content creators, right? So it's really, really cool stuff. Also, in other news, what's going on is Binance got sued by the SEC. Apparently they ran, these are their words, not mine, they ran an illegal crypto exchange. CZ is accused of commingling customer assets. He has also been accused of of wash trading. He has also been accused of skirting around U.S. regulation in to try to benefit their clients. So let's say there was a client from the U.S., CZ and Binance would go out of their way to try to make sure that that client could get around U.S. regulations. But most importantly, in this lawsuit, like the Coinbase lawsuit that was dropped the day after, a lot of shitcoins were named in this lawsuit. The SEC has gone out of their way to mention that that Solana, that Cardano, Matic, Filecoin, Atom, BNB, Cody, Dash. In the eyes of the SEC, all of those shitcoins are securities. So the days of ICOs, the days of these developers just spinning up a token, or stocking up on the pre-sale, and then when it gets listed onto the exchange and then dumping it on retail, those days are over. The days of the easy crypto stuff in the US are over. The shitcoining days in the US are over. All these exchanges are under fire. It's going to be very difficult to list new cryptos, right? So crazy stuff. Binance sued on Monday. Coinbase sued on Tuesday. This should not have come as a surprise to you. On Simply Sessions, we've been covering the fact that Gary Gensler has gone on record to say everything else other than Bitcoin is security. But before you get too excited, there is some very troubling words that came out of Gensler on Monday when he did an interview for CNBC. He said, "We don't need more digital currency. We already have a digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called euro. It's called the yen." This kind of mirrors and it echoes the language that we're hearing from the Biden administration. So that is very, very troubling. Who's to say after they're done, killing the shitcoin industry, they're not going to, turn their crosshairs onto the Bitcoin industry. So that's definitely something to be aware of as well. And then the other big news of this week is the Volcano energy. It was announced that El Salvador was going to have a $1 billion investment into Bitcoin mining. Apparently, they're going to build out 241 megawatts of renewable energy capacity. That's all going to go towards Bitcoin miners. But I think the interesting part here is that if you read the announcement, which we don't have time to go through the whole thing today, about 72 megawatts of the 241 is going to come from solar, and about 169 megawatts is going to come from 169 is coming from solar and 72 megawatts is coming from wind. None of that is geothermal, therefore it's not really volcanic energy. So I find that part strange. But another thing also to consider as well is that wind, it's not always windy, and with the sun, it's not always sunny. Sometimes it's nighttime, sometimes there's clouds, right? So that's really interesting. This was pushed heavy not only by Max and Stacy, but it was also pushed by Tether as well. So that is your 5-minute Simply Sessions news cap. I will see you guys next week. This was Nico. Peace out, guys.
All right, everybody, let's get into the tech side of things. So a few things kind of coming out. I think since I'm here in Prague, I think people are using this as another outlet to announce stuff, much like they did in Miami. But nonetheless, Blockstream's Greenlight scalable non-custodial Lightning infrastructure is now open to developers. And so what this does is effectively it's Lightning as a service that developers can use to integrate non-custodial Lightning into their apps with just a few API calls. They're still actively developing it, but the public interfaces are stable and ready to explore. And the last quote that I'll say here, today we're extremely proud to open source the Greenlight client repository as part of our developer preview. Included are client libraries with bindings for Python, and the goal of Greenlight is to provide an easy way for developers to build on the Lightning Network without having to dig into the finer details of the protocol, but also for users to just get started. And once they're up to speed, the users can onboard their own infrastructure. The exciting part of this too is I went to a chat the other day, Hack Day in Prague, and Greenlight is being used in the backend for Breeze and stuff that they're building. It looks very slick. Some of it over my head as they coded up an app in front of us in the room, but really cool to see. And furthermore, Lightning, although not available to everyone yet, I got a special preview, and people that walk up to the Blockstream booth here in Prague got a special preview, and they've just enabled Lightning in Blockstream Green. I haven't played with it yet. Obviously, that'll be a video soon, but now Blockstream Green, you're going to be able to use mainnet, Liquid, and Lightning all in one place. That's pretty cool. That's what I've been looking for, and I can't wait to play with it. Nonetheless, let's move on. More developments with mobile. eNuts Alpha, mobile Cashew wallet with Lightning support. Cashew, very interesting protocol along the same idea of Fedimint. It's a Chaumian eCash. I know this probably sounds like Greek to a lot of you, but basically you can have what's known as a mint. Anybody within that mint can transact with anybody. Basically, like there's a concentration of funds. They can transact back and forth, and it's near perfect privacy. Even the people managing the mint do not know who owns what, and any withdrawal is a regular Lightning transaction. So when you go into a mint and then exit a mint, you're kind of hiding in the crowd as well. So you enjoy the privacy of having been in the mint at any point. So really interesting. I've done a video on Cashew before. So go back and check that out if you're curious. Very excited to try this, but nonetheless, eNuts is a project. It's looking for contributors. If you're experienced with JavaScript or React Native, please help. And yeah, basically they're working on getting it into beta phase and everything like that. But looks very interesting. Check out their Telegram, and very excited to see Cashew hitting mobile. Also, I wanted to touch on Nunchuk. They just dropped a new mobile release. If you're familiar before, they just added coin control, like very in-depth, advanced coin control in Nunchuk. And so they've added even more. You can now batch transactions from Nunchuk Wallet mobile. They also have coin ancestry view. They have the ability to configure the gap limit, how many addresses you actually check for balance when you set up your wallet or import your wallet. They also have message signing for tap signer and software keys, so you can verify a message, verify that you own something cryptographically. And they also have other bug fixes and improvements. Damn, Nunchuk adding so many great advanced features. Up next, Primal. We're in the vein of Nostr now. Zaps are now live on Primal. Primal is a super slick interface. The only reason I wasn't using it regularly was because Zaps were not yet enabled. Well, that has dropped now, so maybe on desktop I might start using that as my regular interface. It's super clean. So nonetheless, very excited about that. Let's jump forward a little bit. This is interesting, and not necessarily tech news, but in a way, yes. Border searches of cell phones now require a warrant, and that's ruled by a U.S. federal judge in a historic decision. Says, quote, "The number of warrantless device searches at the border and the significant invasion of privacy they represent is only increasing. In fiscal year 2022, CBP conducted an all-time high of 45,499 device searches." I mean, great decision and everything. Still, I would be cautious at borders. You don't want to have sensitive information, or at least you want to have it hella locked down. You maybe want to be cautious about any sort of like Bitcoin related stuff that's on your phone. Nonetheless, great to see some progress in this realm, but if you're traveling internationally, you never know what you're going to get at a border, so just be mindful and prepared for that. Moving on. Speaking of being in Prague, this is very interesting. The app that they're using for the conference is actually Fedi, based on Fedimint, and they have like a federation or a mint that is active specifically for the course of the conference. And so there's like chat groups and everything built into it. So I just want to kind of show you effectively here. You have this application. I do have this on my phone right now. And so you can join a mint. So they have one for BTC Prague. And then you can like jump into chats with various people. That's down at in the bottom here. There's group chats for various things. They you can fund it with Lightning, although they've limited how much you can fund it with. And then you can buy things directly within the app. So they have plugins for Bitrefill and Stacker News and BTC Map and Geyser Fund. And they even have LNGPT, so like ChatGPT, but you pay a sat to ask it a question and compute for you. They also have like a full breakdown of like the program, the venue, the speakers, side events, all of that kind of built into the application here. And then everybody can actually transact amongst each other at the conference with like totally private Xiaomi and eCash, and even the managers, I can't remember the term used for people managing the mint, but nonetheless, they have no idea who owns what and who has transacted and withdrawn from the mint once it ends. And if there are any funds, by the way, left in the mint at the end of the grace period, 8 days before they shut down the mint, it's all being donated to a local charity, which they've said within the app here. So pretty cool. Very interesting. I didn't realize that it could be used in this manner, but yeah, man, go try out the Fedi Alpha. So Fedi BTC is their Twitter handle, and I think you can give it a go. Also, speaking of being here in Prague, hanging out with a lot of awesome people, jet lagged, so like I haven't made it out super late in the evenings, but been really cool to see everybody. And we're going to continue on our way. Lots going on. I want to give a shout out to Walker. I love seeing stuff like this. We were talking about this the other night, but Walker tweeted out the other day, tip my Uber driver at BTC Prague in Bitcoin after setting him up with a wallet. His response, oh my God, just like that? And then he says, feel free to send him a few sats if you feel so inclined. His Lightning address is nullronald05 at walletofsatoshi.com. Null Ronald, RONALD 05 at walletofsatoshi.com. Kind of cool to see, because like people, they get a fair amount of sats sometimes from this when it gets blasted around. So it's I don't know, make an Uber driver's day in Prague if you see fit. Again, here in Prague, I'm doing a keynote talk tomorrow. Getting a little nervous. So I got 25 minutes by myself on the main stage, and I'm going to be talking about the Canadian trucker protest, what happened in Canada last year, what we did, what we learned, what went wrong, what are the tools I wish we had used, and how to improve so that people didn't have the same kind of barriers that we did and the same problems we did. Although I'll still say, like, with the worst best practices out the gate, because we didn't realize how crazy it was going to get, it was still the only digital fundraising mechanism in which the majority of funds made it to their intended destination. So I'm going to talk about that and how we can fix the missteps that I myself made along the way. And I hope people find it useful. After that, I'm now headed out to Oslo for the Oslo Freedom Forum. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be doing some emceeing there. I'm also going to be doing kind of a workshop area where human rights activists can come and learn and get their first sats. I'm going to be setting them up with Phoenix Wallet. By the way, if you've been playing around, trying to figure out what's going to be my default Lightning wallet at the moment, like if the high fee environment kind of put you off moon for a bit, that was kind of my default for a while. But honestly, I've been playing around with Phoenix the past couple of weeks, and the interface and onboarding to it is quite smooth. I've used it before in the past, but I kind of went back to it and gave it a second look, and it's excellent. So anyways, going to be doing chats and helping people out with that in Oslo. And then I continue to be on the road. I will be in Toronto for the Canadian Bitcoin Conference, June 17th and 18th. This is going to be a blast. There's so many great people going. I can't wait for it. So yeah, they just dropped the full schedule and everything the other day. All of this is going on. So yeah, all kinds of great stuff going on. Speaking of the Freedom Convoy, BJ is going to be there signing his book, which is super awesome. So yeah, all kinds of great stuff going on. I'll see some of you in Toronto. And then of course, if you're in my immediate area and you want to meet up in Calgary, we're doing the Bitcoin Rodeo. That is July 4th and 5th. Holy hell, there's a lot going on, you guys. But nonetheless, very excited for it all. It's going to be a blast. And yeah, I'm gonna round it out here, and we'll sign off so that I can continue nursing my jet lag. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all those things, they help a ton. You can hit up the previously mentioned sponsors down below: HodlHodl, CoinKite, Nunchuk, and Start9. You can also hit up my website, btcsessions.ca, to book me for one-on-ones. And furthermore, if you want to send some sats, if you really liked what you saw, just scroll down a little bit on my website, and there's a Lightning donation link there as well. With that, I'm out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening, wherever you may be, and I'll see you guys next time for your Simply session.
HodlHodl the Bitcoin.